I'm going crazy, sitting on that train, and I don't think I'm ever coming home. Don't think I'm lazy, don't think I'm strange. I do think I'm really just losing it all. 'Cause I'm going crazy. Yes, I'm going crazy.
Hello, everybody, and a happy Friday night to you. Here we are. No, it's Saturday night. I'm sorry. We usually do this on Friday nights, but last night was Justin Redden's 40th birthday. Happy birthday to Justin. So we were celebrating virtually, of course, at a safe distance. We had a birthday parade, normally reserved for 7-year-olds, but we threw it at Justin because 40 is a big deal. I know. I've been there. How was your week? Mine was fine. Beautiful weather the last 3 days, other than a few showers and thunderstorms last night. But it's getting there, right? I mean, this helps with the COVID-19 situation and us being stuck in our homes. It's really nice to have the good weather upon us, I guess. But you know what? There's a lot of good news. I was about to get dark, and I don't want to get dark because there's a lot of good news, and I like to start the show with good news. And we have a fantastic show for you. A little bit later on, David Rush is going to be joining me. He is the Guinness Book Record King right now. He's just, during this downtime, he's just breaking records left and right. So we're going to talk to him in a bit. We got Barbie Rice from Food by Barbie. You can find her on Facebook and follow her delicious dishes. And she's a delicious dish herself, isn't she? I can see her smiling down in the queue. Boozin with Bill, and we're going to talk to Kim Stamps from Key West. Greetings from Key West, formerly known as a random guy from blank, but we changed that to greetings from blank. And this week it's going to be Key West. I don't know a lot about Key West. All I know about Key West is I want to go there someday. So I'm really looking forward to talking to Kim. She actually owns a tour company. I didn't know that when we first spoke. So it's going to be fantastic. Let's see. It's Haley's 3rd birthday. Happy birthday, Haley. Yay. Mark, what's up, my man? How are you? Megan. Hey, Meg. What's happening, Meg? Good to see you. And Julie. Hey. All right. So good news. I've got a few pictures to go with the good news. So let's do that. How's the mohawk? The mohawk is, well, it's a little loose right now, but it's still there. It's purple, Julie. It's purple. And my cousin Rob, what's up, buddy? How you doing? All right. I could talk to everybody all night, but let's get to the good news. All right, let's see. Tomorrow, this is exciting. HMEA's incredible 5K is now a virtual 5K. So make sure you tune in to facebook.com/HMEA Inc. and use that hashtag if you're watching. Spend lots of money, raise lots of money for individuals with disabilities, developmental disabilities. They do amazing work in the local area. HMEA, a partner of the radio station, and we love Doug and the whole gang over there. So make sure you tune in 10 a.m. tomorrow. When they do the race, when they're able to do it, it's amazing. And I love the play on the word incredible right there. Today, over at Garden Restaurant in Milford, love Garden Restaurant. I wasn't able to go. I didn't know it was happening until somebody told me afterwards. But look at that. They were giving away free masks. They got a whole bunch of masks, and they invited people to come down. They're not open right now. So it wasn't like after their shift, they just went outside. They all got together, and they handed out masks right outside of the store. What else we got? Chalk the Walk, Milford. From now until May 25th, design your driveway or your front steps with a nice mural, a chalk mural, and make sure you take a picture of it. Use the hashtag Chalk the Walk Milford. And the Cultural Council is just trying to spread a little joy and happiness right now. We all need that. So thanks to the gang at the Milford Cultural Council for putting this together. And make sure you take part. Use that hashtag on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Let's see what you got. Today's was a beautiful day. Tomorrow's supposed to be decent too. We're going to talk more about this with Bill. But Party for the Pantry came and went, but it's coming back. We couldn't do it live at the Black Box, but we're going to do a virtual party for the pantry and raise money for the Franklin Food Pantry. That is coming, but we'll talk about that with Bill, my partner in crime, when it comes to that party right there. And we'll talk to Barbie about cooking for kids. We're doing that a week from tomorrow. I can't wait for this. So we've got a bunch of professional chefs and home kitchen culinary artists sharing their favorite quick dishes with you. You can watch from your kitchen. If you have the ingredients, you can cook along. You can take notes. And we're raising lots and lots of money for the Milford Summer Meals Program. If you didn't know, they started early this year, right when this COVID-19 thing hit. They got to work and they've been giving out free meals every the weekdays at least. And that means that they're going to be a little short for the summer. And we need to take care of the kids and the families over the summer. So that is going to be a real fun fundraiser. Let's see what else we got. Oh, I want to mention. Oh, here we go. How about Super Nicholas? You guys know Super Nicholas, the Super Nicholas Fund? I'm sure you've seen it on Facebook. Nicholas has had kidney failure since he was born, and he's about 10 or 11 years old right now. He just had a kidney transplant, and look at the smile on his face. He's doing well. The donor is doing well. It's amazing news. Great to see Super Nicholas smiling right there. And then real quick, Milford TV has been doing a great job during the COVID-19 crisis, and they have a new app so you can follow all the news and information. And this show is on Milford TV as well. It's rerun there. They're just doing a fantastic job, Liz and Daniel and Mike and the gang over there. Thank you so much for all you're doing. All right. So that is your good news. And without any further ado, let's start the show as we always do with our good friend, Bill. All right, Bill, what's up? How are you?
How's it going, buddy?
Good. I had to get rid of the Van Halen song. They flagged it. The Big Bad
Really?
Sweet Willie Now. Yeah, they flagged it. So I found something a little bit more Irish for you.
There you go. Thank you.
For a nice Italian boy.
Yep, totally.
What's going on? How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Excited to be here again.
Yeah, well, I'm excited. Every week it's been a new drink.
Yeah, and we're going to keep that tradition alive today.
You know what, Bill? Before we go, help me out with this. The background. Do you like the stars? Do you like this little design here? Or because of the Key West conversation later, a little beach theme? What do you like better?
I go with the beach theme.
Beach theme. We're keeping because your drink will lend well to the theme of the background there. All right. What do we got this week?
Today, we will have the traditional Cuban mojito. Although there is a couple of recipes out there and there's some variations, but we can talk about that as we go. And with this drink, only one alcohol this time. You know, we're not combining 3 or 4. So we're going to go with good old Bacardi white rum.
Bacardi is that's a great choice. I've got the Blue Chair Bay, Kenny Chesney's rum. It's a great rum, but you're right. Bacardi is a safe choice.
Yeah, it's very it's traditional. It works great and everything. So the other ingredients you need to sweeten this. I personally use, you can't really see it, but confectioner's sugar. I find that the powdered sugar, it basically just disappears in the alcohol. Okay. So, and you don't have to mix it up too much, which the traditional white sugar, it's tougher. You could also use simple syrup if you have some. Okay. You can whip that up easy. You boil some sugar and water, boom, you got simple syrup. Okay. Also, you have the juice of 1 lime and also fresh mint.
Got the mint.
You got it? Yep.
Yeah, I made this a couple weeks ago.
All right, great. So as far as the mint goes, it's really to taste. In between anywhere from 5 to 10 leaves. Get a mixing cup. Yep. Throw in your leaves.
Ooh, minty.
Yes, minty.
I guess that makes sense.
This particular recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar. It's quite sweet, but it's very good. Okay. Let me get this down a little bit so you can see better. There we go. So we got about 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar.
But I've got my regular sugar here. But I do have, you know what I have? I have the artificial confectionery sugar, which is really good if you're off the sugar diet. All right.
Yeah. As many of us are right now.
That's right.
So what I'm doing is in a mixing cup, we have the mint we have sugar. We're going to add our lime juice.
Okay, so Bill, since I don't have the lime juice, and this is another way of making it, I have wedges. I'm throwing 3 wedges in there.
Yeah, and you can muddle those as well. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to muddle. And
this is a muddler, I promise you.
This is not a muddler. This is an ice cream scoop, but
it works.
You make do. So you want to muddle that up nice. You want to get that mint to release all its natural juices. So muddle that up nice. If you're using fresh lime, it's a little longer of a process. So I'm going to end up getting a little closer than Ray.
Okay, I think I'm good.
And then I'm going to go with about 2 ounces of Bacardi because Saturday night's a party. I'm going to call that 1 and 2.
Close enough.
That's a strong pour right there, I'll tell you.
That's why I have the pourer on mine.
Yeah, I don't have. So the last ingredient would be just a little bit of club soda.
Okay.
Get a little fizz going. So I'll go with maybe about 2 ounces of that as well. And then I'm just going to, since I'm in a mixer, I'm going to give a quick stir. And I have a fresh highball or rocks glass with some, you guessed it, fresh rocks.
Okay, I got mine. I went the other way. I should have ended up in this glass, but I'm going to end up in this glass.
So then I'm just going to strain over fresh rocks.
Yeah, I don't have a strainer. But you know what? I think mine's coming out okay.
Yeah, looking good. This one's looking good. So fresh strain. And then for garnish, this is the fun part. A nice lime wedge. And which is even more fun, you get a sprig of fresh lime.
Fresh out.
Excuse me. Fresh mint, excuse me.
Yeah.
And what you want to do, you want to give it a spank. Give it a little spank.
It's a family show.
The natural odor. And then, I can get it already. Bam, hit me. And then, here you go. Traditional Cuban mojito, buddy. Cheers to you.
Cheers,
and
buddy.
I do have a straw.
Oh, that is good. That's really good. And I can taste the mint, and I didn't use enough lime, I don't think. I didn't use the lime juice, but it's still good. It's a weak lime mojito.
And a weak on lime. Mine's, I would say mine is perfect.
Nice.
Absolutely perfect.
Perfect for the weather that's to come. Nice, sitting out by the fire or by the pool on a hot summer day. Nice job, man.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Okay, we're not done yet, though. So I'm going to... It's got too much sugar in it. I can't drink that right now. But I'm going to go for a beer. I'm going to go for a carb-loaded beer. So I'm going to just pour that as we finish our conversation. This will be my drink for the rest of the hour, the happy hour. And this, I found this at where did I go? I can't remember the place I went. But it's called Buddy Movie. I love the can.
Oh.
So the guys from Jack's Abbey started another brewery called Springdale. And they teamed up with Stoneface up in New Hampshire, and they brought us Buddy Movie. It's a sour India pale ale.
Very nice. Very nice.
Oh, it's very citrusy.
Yeah. This I don't have one now, but I recently picked up the Left Hand Brewers Nitro Milk Stout, and it's excellent.
The microbrewers.
Yes, and Left Hand Brewers, and I would say that milk stout has. It's similar to what you would get at Craft Roots, but I think Craft Roots might be a little better.
Of course it is.
Yep.
And then while I was at the liquor store, I found Night Shift Brewing, right? The Hoot, they have a Hoot hard seltzer.
Nice.
I like the seltzers, and I was happy to see that a beer company made a seltzer. All right, so we decided that we'd put off Party for the Pantry, which raises money for the Franklin Food Pantry, and we decided we're going to go virtual now because we couldn't have it this year. But last year we raised about 14 grand, right? The year before 10 grand, I think.
So we're going to we got a little bit over 10, a little bit over 14.
And this is just one night of 3 or 4 bands, 4 bands, and just having a great time. And we were really bummed out we couldn't do it because of COVID-19, obviously. But Party for the Pantry is going to be virtual on July 26th with lots of acts, lots of people you know. We're going to have lots of people from the food pantry on to talk about that. So I'm looking forward to that, huh?
Yes, and we're amid collecting talent right now, and building out our production for this event. And I'm happy to say Ray will be engineering, and I think we'll have it's going to be about 3 hours. Plenty of performances. You'll get to hear from food pantry leadership, staff, maybe some local government, and also hoping to get some stories in the past on how we've helped out, or you or anybody else out there has helped out. If you have a story, try to get it to us somehow.
Yeah, it's been such a success over the last 4 years we've been doing it.
Yeah,
I think
this was supposed to be the fifth. Yeah,
and successful, obviously, but a lot of fun, just a fun night out for people. And we're going to try to recreate that fun virtually as well. But we're asking people maybe put aside some money right now for that day, because we're going to be asking for it.
Yeah. And, it'll be helpful. They're very, very busy right now. And, this crisis has really hurt a lot of people. And, it touches very close to home when your neighbors are struggling, and a lot of people that were just getting by. The economy wasn't great for everybody, as we're finding out right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. All right, buddy. Well, good to see you. And thank you for the drink of the week, which is a tasty mojito. And I think you have to start putting in the comments under this video the recipes.
Yeah, that'll be a good idea.
All right. Have a good weekend. The rest of your weekend. I'll talk to you soon.
Buddy. Peace out.
And that is Bill. Boozin' with Bill. Let's check out some of these comments before we get to our next guest. It's Todd, T-O to the double D. What's up, buddy? How are you? Just drinking straight whiskey. Why not, right? I've got so much booze around me. So I did a video with Justin, and there was a partner where we talk about shots, and it's a tequila-based song. And I mistakenly did a shot of tequila while I was making that video right before the show. So I've just got to pace myself a bit. Tim is watching. That's not how I made them in Cuba. He actually went to Cuba. Is it Cuba or Cuba? If you've been there, I think it's Cuba. I miss these guys. We miss you too, Todd. And you went to Cuba. I didn't go to Cuba. Cuba. Did I say that? I didn't say that. And Todd, again, I watch later. Got to get ready for the Bad Marriage stream. A little shameless plug there. And have the Heinekens and Old Man. And that is a teeter move right there. I'm not catching what he's talking about. Boozin' with Bill. That's right. All right, let's get to our next guest. And she has her own Facebook page. Oh, she's such a big girl. She's got her own Facebook group, actually. And let's look at some of the delicious things she posts on her. And she makes these, too. Oh, my God. Oh, look at that. Oh, wow. Picture porn and food porn. That's delicious. And I've had her breakfast before. Not because I was there from the night before, because she invites us over for breakfast from time to time. And Barbie makes an awesome, awesome breakfast. So it's Barbie Rice, Food by Barbie. Hey, Barbie, how are you?
I'm good, Ray. How are you?
Good. Where's the old man? Is he sneaking around the kitchen there, or did you
No,
ban him?
He's in the barn watching the show.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So when did you start the group? When did that happen?
I think it's gonna celebrate 6 years in January. So
wow.
It's 2.5 years.
And not only do you post pictures, I mean, that's really the big thing, but you post your menu for the week too.
Yes.
Why did you decide to get so personal with that? I mean, why did you think everyone wants to know what Tim Rice is going to be eating on a Thursday night?
Well, it wasn't really all about what Tim was eating. It's more about what we were eating.
Yeah.
But I'm a meal prepper. And it's something I like to do. And people were asking me when I was posting pictures just on my own Facebook page, oh, what are you making? What are you having? Oh, do you have this recipe? So Tim actually said, you should do a page. And I was like, I don't want to do it. It's just silly. And then all of a sudden he made me the page.
And people love it.
You have Food by Barbie now. And
yeah,
I love it. And other people love it. So
I've known you for a long time now, but I don't think I've ever asked you what your culinary background is, because you cook so well, and I know you enjoy doing it. But do you have any kind of a background?
No. Just home cooking and a class or two that I took. I took a cooking class out of somebody's home once, and it had all to do with different cuts of meat, which was really cool.
Yep.
And then I did, I think it was a cooking class at one of the stores that does like that sur la table or whatever.
Yeah. So basically self-taught.
So
after a few classes.
I had to learn to cook, I say, in self-defense.
I love that. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
And who else is going to cook in your house?
So the kids cook.
Do they?
I didn't know that. Yeah. They make they'll make their own creations. Anna actually made chocolate chip banana pancakes for us this morning.
Ooh, and how were they?
Really good. Yeah.
By Barbie's standards, they were good.
They were great. And she did the same thing I do. I research and I look at recipes and I say, do I like it? Do I not? Do I have the ingredients? And she just, you follow the directions, and they came out great.
Do you pass the recipes on to the kids, or are they also like teaching themselves?
I think it depends on what it is. If it's like cookies, then yeah, those recipes will be passed on to them. And I try to bring them into when I'm making cookies. I'm like, oh, do you want help? And sometimes it's yes, and most of the time it's no, I just want to eat them.
Are there secret recipes in the Rice household? In the recipe book?
Well, there's just one specific cookie I think that people most know me for, which is the Santa surprise cookies, which are they're a little peanut butter cookie dough.
Oh, yeah.
I make them at Christmas, and everybody raves about them, and everybody loves them. And that recipe, I think the kids will take and continue with.
And then we get a treat once or twice a year where we get breakfast from you, and you make those. Talk about the French toast that you make, that French toast casserole.
That French toast casserole it's a great casserole for a group, because you can make one pan of it and you're feeding 12 people. It's fantastic. Or actually, I think for our group, I have to make 2 pans.
Probably. And when I did Stuff a Bus last year and wasn't able to attend one of the breakfasts, you actually sent one over to the bus.
Yes.
So that was a nice surprise.
With extra bacon, I believe.
Of course, with extra bacon. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you send extra bacon? You know me.
Yes, I do.
All right. Before we you're going to do a little demo here, and this is kind of a lead in to what we're going to be doing next Sunday, which is cooking for kids. And Barbie's going to be a part of this. We have maybe 10 or 12, and I'm still, if anybody wants to do this, it's going to be this format right here, like with Barbie in the kitchen. And you're just going to do a 10 or 15, and I'll be with you. You're going to do a 10 or 15 minute little demo. You're going to make a dish, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have some laughs, and we're going to raise lots of money to benefit the Milford Summer Meals Program. So you can find that on my page, and I believe it's going to be broadcasting on the MyFM 1013 Facebook page as well. All right, what are we making today?
So first of all, I have to say I'm glad you posted that, because I forgot that I said I was going to do it. And this is going to be the idea, because it's a quick recipe. So now I have to come up with something else. But,
okay.
So today we're going to go and make one of my summer dishes that I really love. It's a chicken apple salad wrap. Super easy, because you're starting with a rotisserie chicken that picked up from the store.
See, I went to the store today to do this with you, and then I saw rotisserie chicken. I'm like, that's too much work for me. So it was much easier making a mojito with Bill.
All right.
That's all you. I'm just gonna watch.
So I prepared. So I have my chicken here, but I cut some chicken up because you want it to be nice bite size. So you have the chicken, and I have a couple more slices here. So you have the chicken.
Okay.
And then you have apple, because it's chicken apple salad. So I used Granny Smith apple.
Okay. Well, what would be the difference between Granny Smith and Macintosh?
So Granny Smith is a little more tart. It gives you just a little bit of a pucker when you eat this.
Okay.
And because of the different components of the recipe, you have sweetness, you have pucker, you have a little bit of sour. It just all kind of blends really nice together.
Okay.
And if you're going to be using apples or anything like that, I do recommend that you buy one of these apple core slicers.
Those scare Molly for some reason.
Yeah, well, if you're not, you got to really push into it to get the apple. So I did this before we even were live. So
Nice.
There you go.
Prep. It's all about the prep.
That's right. Everything's prepped. Everything is, I think it's mise en place.
Do you clean as you go when you cook?
Usually, yes. If I'm making cookies and stuff and I've got all those ingredients and while the first tray is baking, I'm cleaning up.
All right. That's what I do too. I'm a little obsessive about it when I do it.
And then you have to have if you're doing stuff like this, you have a garbage bowl. So you throw all the scraps into one bowl.
Yep.
And then that all just goes right into the trash.
There you go.
Or if you're composting or if you're saving stuff for stock, which I haven't gotten that far. So
we just started recycling at our house. So
fantastic. That's very good. So we have our chicken, we have our apple, and we have our salad, which is just romaine lettuce. Just
good choice. Buttery.
Yeah, it's nice, it's light, and slice is very nice.
Okay. And
then we have, for that sweetness that I was talking about, so where you have kind of the tart from the apple, I have red grapes. So red grapes, which please be sure that you wash them before you eat them. So especially now. So those are all rinsed. And then what I did is I cut them in half. And then I also have some golden raisins.
Ugh.
I know.
I'm not a fan of raisins.
Sorry. But I like the golden raisins because they're so sweet. It's like a fruit snack, right? That's exactly what it is. It's a fruit snack.
I'll take your word for it.
So all of these go into a wrap of your choice. So
what's your favorite wrap?
I have Joseph's wraps here.
Okay.
But if you're doing keto and you wanted to use like a low carb wrap, I know that they have low carb wraps, usually in the deli section. So,
those are hard to find. They're very hard to find because that's the one thing I'm not eating. Well, a lot of things, but the bread is a big deal. And I love sandwiches and I love wraps, but it's hard to find those low carbs.
Absolutely. So with this, you could do it with a wrap. And the other great thing is if you don't want the extra carbs where the apple has carbs, the grapes are carbs because of the sugar, you could just have this as a salad.
Okay.
There's no wrap at all.
That's fine too. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're just going to build this into the wrap. We got our lettuce and our chicken.
And there's really a certain amount for each ingredient, right? It's just what you prefer over another ingredient.
It's going to be what you prefer. And it's also going to be, did you buy the small wraps? Did you buy a large wrap? The other thing you want to do too is these apple pieces. So the apples are wedged, but that wedge is too wide to fit in a wrap. So what I do is I cut this in half lengthwise and then in half. So they're these chunks.
Oh, okay.
But if you have little kids, these are obviously choking hazards. So you want to be sure that if you're making this recipe, it's not for toddlers, really. Okay. Because you've got those halved grapes. It's just a precaution.
Okay.
So the great thing about this is a salad that you could make or a wrap that you could make, and you can bring it to a potluck. It can. Okay. There's no mayonnaise in it. There's nothing in it other than, the apple may brown a little bit, but you can put lemon juice on them to make them not brown. And so if you're going to a potluck, and hopefully we can do that someday, then it's a great salad to have. And then people can build it themselves.
Yeah, because a virtual potluck is just not the same.
No, it's not. It's very sad. So the last step in this, because it's just a dry wrap right now, dry ingredients, is the dressing. And what I have is raspberry vinaigrette. And that's a sweet and tart. And
why? Why would you go with the raspberry?
Again, it's the combination of the different flavors. I feel like the vinaigrette part of it balances with the raisins that are being really, really sweet. Again, you have to be a raisin fan. So, but
And I'm
when
not.
you have all of this together and you're taking a bite and you get a bit of that grape, you get a bit of the raspberry, you get all of those flavors together, it's really fantastic.
How do you not overfill that? Like, is there a trick? Like, should you leave a certain amount around the edges?
So you probably should leave an amount around the edges so you know that you can fold.
Okay,
So,
because it's same with tacos. You don't want to overfill a taco and have it spill all over the place.
exactly, it's going to make a mess.
Love
So, and you have to kind of practice at folding it, which I tried to make burritos at home, and I failed at the folding part. It's fine. We have forks.
Sometimes it's just easier to put it in a bowl, isn't it?
It is sometimes. So you have the wrap. Cut it on a diagonal because that's pretty. And then there you go.
Oh, that's deli quality right there.
Isn't that good?
Oh, very nice, Barbie. I love it.
And it's delicious. And like I said, you can just bring it to any potluck, any party. It doesn't have mayonnaise. And that's what I was looking for when I was researching this recipe, is I was looking for something that I could eat quickly, that my kids could eat quickly, that could sit for a little while and not have mayonnaise in it.
Awesome. All right. So we're going to see something like that next week. Don't forget, a week from tomorrow, you're doing this again.
So a week from tomorrow, but you know what I'm going to do for you? I think I'm going to do a keto recipe.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
If you're following it. I've got something in mind.
There's plenty of people doing keto, but we're always forgotten. Everyone forgets about us.
I know. And we were doing it too. It just, I couldn't keep it up.
It's tough.
I needed my bread.
Right? All right, Barbie. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Good to see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And don't forget, Barbie is going to be doing this with me, as well as other professional chefs in the local area and home kitchen culinary artists, as we raise money for the Milford Summer Meals Program. They definitely need lots of money as they go into the summer, because they're feeding kids. They do that every year. They feed the kids over the summer, but they started early because of COVID-19. Coming up in just a bit, we've got David Rush, who is the Guinness record king, as far as I'm concerned right now. He's been breaking records left and right during the COVID-19 crisis, just to gain awareness for STEM education. So we'll learn about STEM education. We'll learn about David and all the great things he's doing. But let's take a trip. It's Greetings From, which used to be called A Random Guy From Blank, but now we're changing it to Greetings To. And we're going to, or Greetings From Key West. We're going to Key West today. I've never been to Key West. I know of Key West. I've heard the stories. I have friends that hang out in Key West. And look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That's our background for today's show. So let's go to our guest. We have Kim Stamps with us from Key West. Look at the background. You've got a natural background there.
I know, right? It's a real background.
How are you?
Fantastic. So happy to be on the show. In fact, I really love Barbie's recipe for that wrap.
Yeah. I mean, that seems like a Key West type treat, doesn't it?
Totally. Yeah. Like, I'm ready to make it for lunch for sure.
What is the big food in Key West? What are people eating down there?
It's like the freshest seafood in the world, you know, stone crab, which unfortunately just went out of season a couple days ago.
Oh,
but stone crab is really cool. It's a renewable resource. We just take the claws. The crab gets to live. He grows his claws back again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
the big one, lobster, shrimp.
Yep. Right out, it's just you fish, right? And then the little snack hut is right on the beach. So they just walk it right in and they throw it on the grill.
Pretty much.
Is that how it is in Key West? Because
a lot of the seafood restaurants, they got the licensing to also be a wholesaler. So they literally get the seafood from the boat directly into the restaurant.
Okay.
They call it dock to dish.
What is it called?
Dock to dish.
Dock to dish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We have farm to plate here, or farm to table here. Yeah.
Thing. Yeah.
Same idea. So I don't know a lot about Key West. I know of Key West. I know people who go to Key West. I know it's below Florida. I didn't realize how big the Keys are in general.
It's a long chain of islands. Yeah.
It's like 120 miles, isn't it?
Yeah. It's technically 126 miles from Key West to the mainland.
And it's all little islands.
You go island to island to island and over like 42 bridges. The longest one's 7 miles long.
42 bridges. Are they all pretty much straight down, or are they like all
It's
over
flat.
the place?
It's flat. Like there's no hills. So the bridges are flat. Except for the 7 Mile bridge is nice and tall to let the boats go through. That's about halfway through. There's a couple other bridges that have some height to them. But for the most part, it's flat. And you're looking at water most of the time. It's amazing.
And what's the width? Like, is it pretty much like straight down? There's no big wide areas you can go from one side to another.
Places like one of the bigger islands is Big Pine Key. It goes about 3.5 miles on one side of the road and about a mile on the other. That's like the widest.
That's the widest.
Most of them are maybe like a half a mile wide, if that.
And then when you get down all the way down, that's Key West.
Yeah, Key West is at the very end of the road. You have to go all the way down, and it's like 2 lanes most of the way. At nighttime, there's no street light, so it's super dark. You know, you don't even know when you're on a bridge sometimes. You know,
now
it's a cool drive though.
Let's talk about COVID-19 and what you're going through right now. And I've seen, because I'm on the group page now, I see a lot of the activity that's happening down there. You guys have barriers or roadblocks?
There are 2 roadblocks in place. There's only one road coming down. It's US Highway 1.
Okay.
But it veers off. One road goes up to the north to another area of Key Largo, and the other one comes south. And so there's 2 roadblocks to block non-residents from coming in. And every day, the number of cars trying to get in that shouldn't, with people that shouldn't be coming down here is increasing. So people are trying to come in, and understandably so. It's awesome,
right?
Yeah.
Now, are the businesses really worried? Because you are a tourist community. You rely on tourism, and if you can't let people in, I mean, how much more time do you think you guys can stand this?
So honestly, like, we have a lot of businesses that are closing in Key West. It's a community of small businesses, and small businesses can only hold on for so long under these conditions. We're also coming into what is historically and traditionally our slow season, because it coincides with hurricane season. It's hot and humid, and so we get fewer visitors on a regular basis. But I mean, I think the businesses that can hold on, I think, are going to be okay, but we're all going to have to change. I operate a tour company where I take small groups, but nice. Thank you. There's my company, these tours. And it's been small groups of 10 people or less, but I'm going down. I'm going to say 6 people or less, because under these conditions, 10 people don't want to get in a van,
Yeah.
So that's, I think the companies that hang in there and shift a little bit, to this new normal, I think we're going to be just fine. People love the Keys. They're definitely coming back. You're in that group. You see every day. They're like, when can we come back? When can we come back? We're like, not yet. We love you, but not right now. Like,
yeah, well, it's one of those places I think that people love to go to. And once they go once, you hear that they go back every year.
Oh my gosh, over and over again. Yeah. Yeah, it's really
cool. They have their favorite bar, their favorite beach club.
Right? Yes. Yeah. They have their favorite people too, right? Like, that show them a good time. So like their favorite bartender or their favorite server or their favorite tour guide, people that they see every time they come down, They feel like they know them. It's fun. It's fun for them, and it's fun for us too, because we're like, thank you so much for coming to see me again.
What'd you call that person? Gra? What would you say? Oh, it sounded like bra.
No, I don't think so. I don't use that word.
Oh, okay. Are there any Key West words we don't know about? Or phrases?
Conch.
What is it?
Conch. We use the term conch to refer to people that were born in Key West, not in the Keys, in Key West.
Key West.
Right. And it's the conch shell, right? And the way it started is it came from the people in the Bahamas. When the baby was born, they would put a conch shell on a stick outside of the house to indicate that the baby was born. And that tradition carried into Key West because it was actually originally settled by Bahamians. And so it carried through, and now we call people that are born in Key West, we call them conchs. So you have conchs and you have locals, right? Locals are transplants like me who live in Key West, live and work there, and this is our life.
What do you call the outsiders?
Well, there's a few words for them. I call them visitors.
Visitors. There you go. Because
I call
you
them
depend on those visitors.
or tourists. You know, there's
Yeah,
nothing wrong with being a
sure.
tourist. Some other derogatory words that get thrown around sometimes, but I don't use those words. 'Cause you know what? I like that people come down and visit us. Like, please come and visit us. We're going to show you a good time, you know, and come down and be respectful and have a good time.
All right. So Maureen, my friend Reen, had the same question that I was just about to ask you.
Okay.
What's your favorite hidden gem in Key West?
Everybody wants to know the little hidden secrets, right?
But they won't be secrets if you tell them.
Secrets anymore. So we have a couple things, and actually they're on the same side of the island. One is our state park in Key West, Fort Zachary Taylor State Park. The Keys don't really have the best beaches for the most part because we're a string of coral islands, right? And so there's really not like a lot of sandy beaches, but that's a park that a lot of first-time visitors don't know about. So they want to go to the beach, they want to go swimming, and they're like, "Hey, your beaches aren't all that great." But Fort Zach is a good one. It's off the beaten path a little bit.
Okay.
And the other one, the really big secret that I might get in trouble with my friends by telling you this is a better place for the sunset. Where you can get away from the crowds and you can watch the sunset, and it's peaceful and beautiful, and you're surrounded by locals. And that's at our new park, the Truman Waterfront Park. It's on like the west side of the island, the southwest side of the island. So you get a good sunset year round over there.
I'm sure everybody does it. But I prefer the hidden gems. I prefer the little dives, the back bars with 5 locals at the bar. That's where I like to go.
We used to have those, but we get so many visitors now. There's some really cool spots though that are off the beaten path a little bit. Most people have heard of the Green Parrot Bar. That's one of the best places for live music. But there's another place that has some really good live music too. It's just off Duval Street. It's called Hank's Hair of the Dog, which I think is an awesome name, right?
Yeah.
And these really cool, like hip musicians. A lot of times it's solo musicians, and they're like very entertaining in addition to being good musicians. So Hank's Hair of the Dog, fun place to go check out the music and see what's playing. You never really know what you're going to get there. And like I said, it's just a little bit off Duval. So people stay on Duval Street. That's our main road. But if you go just a little bit off, you can find these really cool little pockets of places, you know.
Is everybody down there playing Jimmy Buffett, or is that a misconception? Is it all beach music?
No, it's not. No, we get a nice mixture of music. Some of it's beach music, but we get like at the Green Parrot, they have a lot of I call it hippie music, you know, with a lot of musicians on stage. You know, we've got Margaritaville, obviously, where Jimmy Buffett plays every once in a while. They're usually playing like the beach islandy music.
Yeah.
But you have a little bit of everything.
And it's heaven down there, right?
It really is.
Heaven.
It really is,
Yeah.
you know. And during this time that we've been closed and we don't have any visitors here, like everybody's renovating. So when people do come back, like the streets are going to be nice, the sidewalks are going to be nice, everything's going to be like clean and renovated, and it's looking really, really good down there. It kind of gives everybody an opportunity to do those things they put off because we have visitors year round.
All right. And you may have answered this already, but my buddy Israel may have just joined us. What is the best bar out there? He's a musician. We have a lot of local musicians up this way. Great scene. And I know many of them would love to play Key West. So what's the best bar down there just to hang out and then for music?
I mean, there's 2. Can I say 2?
Sure. Absolutely.
Green Parrot, and then there's the Hog's Breath.
Okay. Those are the 2 best ones to be at. All right. And you're on the radio as well, aren't you? The Kim and Dee Dee show on the X?
Yeah, so we have this show. It's the Kim and Dee Dee show. So it's myself and my friend Dee Dee Greed, and she's the trash and recycle coordinator for the city of Key West. So the show's theme is going green up the Keys. So we talk about conservation, we talk about recycling, we talk about, you know, different events and cleanups, and I talk about what's going on up the Keys with like the endangered species and things like that. So it's a fun little show that we do on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. and it can be streamed right there on xkeywest.com.
So we can all listen. That's awesome. Well, Thank you so much, Kim. That was a lot of fun.
Hey, thanks for having me. I hope you come down to the Keys soon after we open.
It's always been a plan, but I think it's time to put that plan in place. So we'll definitely come down to visit, and I'll look you up when we get there.
We'll stay in touch. Thanks for having me, Ray.
All right. Take care. That's Kim. She's awesome, right? I love it. Check out the radio station she works at. You can listen to her show as it streams. And it's the Kim and DD show on the X. And there is Up the Keys. That's the tour company. So if you're heading down there, you can check out her tour company, take a tour with Kim. And it's Kim Stamps. There you go. So let's get to our next guest, our final guest tonight. And I think Jay is going to join us for a little nightcap at the end. And if I can I just figured out how to do this today, and I think I can do it. There we go. David Rush is the Guinness record king, as far as I'm concerned. This is just a real short video of a record he just broke. So let me see if I can get that going.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Top 2.03. Come on. Boom. 3, 2, 1, go. Top 2.03. Come on. 3, 2, 1, go. Top 2.03. Come on. Boom.
That's Dave. David, how are you?
I'm doing excellent. Yourself, Ray?
Thank you. And thanks for hanging out for the whole hour. I noticed you were in the queue for the whole hour watching the show.
No, I've been watching the whole show. I've been enjoying it.
Man, that was crazy. And was that your adrenaline, or is that your reaction every time you break a record?
So I get excited almost every time I break the Guinness World Records title, because it frankly is exciting. Sometimes, when I get it on the first try, I'm not as excited. That one I've been working on for a little while.
That's a tough one. You inches. It's not like that game, ping pong.
We're talking millimeters, not inches. Because if you're inches above the cup, it took too long to get in the cup, and you can't. It takes too much time.
How much practice did it take to get that done right there?
That was the second time I'd broken that Guinness World Records title for the fastest time to bounce 5 ping pong balls into 5 glasses. First time was my on December 31st when I was in Costa Rica at Manuel Antonio, famous El Avian restaurant down in Costa Rica. It took me 3.5 seconds, 3.51 actually. This time I got it down to 2.03 seconds. So it was a couple of days worth of practice to get that one down to that short time.
Do you end up driving yourself crazy sometimes trying to get down to the right time that you have to be at before you start taping?
I do go a little bit crazy sometimes, but it's all about having this growth mindset that I can get better at anything. I know I can get better at it. Sometimes you hit plateaus and you're like, I'm not progressing. I'm not seeing the progress. But if you believe you can break through, you can.
All right. Now you're doing this for a very special cause, and that cause is awareness for STEM. STEM education, science, technology, engineering, and math. What made you get into this field or want to promote this field?
I went to school in Massachusetts, right there at MIT. I'm from Boise, Idaho. I went through the Idaho public education system, spent 4 years at MIT. And when I graduated, I came back here to Boise. And I've been promoting STEM education ever since, going into schools and talking to educators about the importance of STEM, talking about my story, how I went to Idaho public education system, had struggles, worked hard, went to MIT, came back to Boise. And then about 6 years ago, I'm like, hey, how can I take this to the next level and set a tangible example that if you set your mind to a goal, believe in yourself and pursue it with a passion, you can accomplish anything. And I said, I'm going to break the Guinness World Records title to do this.
Yeah, and it's not just drawing awareness, but what you're doing, I would think, takes science. You're using some of that STEM education in your record breaking. Am I wrong?
Absolutely. No, yeah. I mean the scientific process and also getting deliberate feedback and the psychology behind it. And then, when I'm balancing objects or, juggling fast, I'm looking at the science behind some of the records. Like I'm the world's fastest juggler, which absolutely astounds me. It blows my mind. When I first practiced for it, I was like, there's no way I could ever do it. And then yet today, just 2 hours ago, I set another world's fastest juggling record. And a lot of the time, one of the things I learned about for juggling, the fastest way to juggle, gravity is the same for everybody. And you can throw the balls fast, but they got to go up and down. And just like the 100-meter dash runner, Usain Bolt, his leg speed, it's the same as everybody else's. The difference in what makes Usain Bolt faster is the amount of time his foot spends on the ground. It's less than everybody else. He imparts more power on the ground faster. And when I'm doing the world's fastest juggling, it's all about getting the ball out of my hand as fast as I possibly can. Once it lands in my hand, I got to get it out as fast as possible And that's what sets me apart as the world's fastest juggler, not the ball coming back down.
When did you start with the Guinness records? When did you start doing this?
So it was about, 6.5 years ago. I wanted to break a Guinness World Records title, and I was going to run the fastest half-mile run while juggling. Running while juggling. It's called joggling. There's a niche community there that participates in it. There's a couple thousand of us that do it in the world. And so I trained for 2 years. I ran 2,000 miles, short run, long runs, wind sprints, time trials, all while juggling, ran a marathon while juggling. And then at the end of that 2 years, I hurt my knee and I couldn't juggle anymore while running, which is kind of frustrating. So I pivoted. Instead of giving up, I pivoted to longest duration blindfolded juggling. And since I just spent a couple hundred hours running and doing the basic 3-ball cascade where the ball goes back and forth, I thought, hey, if I stand in one spot, I can juggle even longer. And so in October of 2015, I broke my very first Guinness World Records title for longest duration blindfolded juggling.
Okay. And was this, after that happened, was this, I got to do this every week, or did it really start ramping up during the COVID-19 while you had some time at home? So
it ramped up earlier, but in October 15, I broke my very first one. I'm like, that's awesome. And then a few months later, I broke my second record. And so that first year, I broke maybe 5 records. And then the next year, I broke maybe 25. And then in 2018, I set a goal. I want to break 1 Guinness World Records title per week. And I ended up at 51 because I had 9 that were disqualified. You don't find out for a little while. And so 2019, I went after it. And I think I'm going to be close again, but I had even more in 2019 disqualified. And then 2020, I actually took a break earlier in the year. But then when I was stuck at home, it's like, okay, it's just all about breaking records. How many I can break? And I think I've broken 12 or 13 since the quarantine started.
Wow. And the website is great, by the way. Let me throw that up again, because you've got all the videos, multiple videos of the same attempts and an explanation of what you have to do to end up in the Guinness Book of World Records. It's not as easy. It has to be documented perfectly, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that I often joke, it's the Guinness Book of Prove You Did It, because there are stringent documentation for about the video evidence, the timers, the witnesses, and the independent. During the COVID season, they've actually relaxed some of the requirements, so long as you add extra video evidence with like the timer in the video camera to make sure people aren't trying to game the system.
Okay. And are you purposely trying to find very odd records to break instead of the norm, I guess? Because I mean, let's say, so you've got most ping pong balls caught in shaving foam. I saw that one. That was awesome. Well, on the head, by the way, fastest 5 ping pong.
Yeah, that was one that Dude Perfect did originally. Dude Perfect, the YouTube stars, got 50 million subscribers, and so they did it. And I'm like, okay, if they can do it, I can do it. And so but it wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. It took us actually months to break that one. It was just during this COVID lockdown. We're quarantined with our neighbors because we've all got young kids, and they play together and they watch our kids because we're working full time. And so it took longer than I thought it was going to break to break that one.
Thank God for today's technology, right? Because if it was videotape, how would you do it? You'd be going through so much VHS.
Yeah, I've had to reformat my SD cards a few times.
Wet sponges to the face. That was just a fun one to watch. You just took sponges to the face.
Yeah, and my friend across the street, the neighbors, he's actually ambidextrous, so he can throw with both hands, which gave us a significant advantage. That one was difficult because you got to hit the sponge full on the face, but you got to have your eyes closed, obviously, to hit the sponge in the face. And then I got to let the water wipe off. Then I got to open my eyes again. And if I wait too long, the next sponge is either going to miss me or hit me in the eye. So I got to open it up time to see where it is, close my eyes again, move my face, and then let it hit me in the face again. So I mean, I'm trying to make it sound difficult. It actually wasn't all that hard. It was just kind of fun.
Do you get to share that record with your neighbor?
Yeah, no, that's a 2-person record because he's thrown it. There's the skill-based things. There's a number of 2-person records that both people get credit for, and sometimes only one does.
And how many records have you broken since that first record breaker?
So roughly? I'm really close to 150 Guinness World Records broken at this point.
Wow. And how many are there? Do you know how many records there are? Because I remember when I grew up, I had the book. We all had the book. And back then it was longest fingernails, tallest guy, shortest guy. And then it grew, obviously. So how many records are there to date?
So in the book, they publish about 4,000 records per year. And so that's what you see in the book. On their website, they've got about 15,000 records listed at any given moment. The total number of Guinness World Records titles they track is about 47,000 right now. So it's not as an exclusive club as you might think, but it does still take energy, effort, time to break a
Absolutely.
Guinness World Records title. Sometimes it's about logistics, getting a bunch of people together. Sometimes it's about supplies, like, do I have enough material to create the world's biggest crayon? And sometimes it's all about just skill, like how long can I practice to become the world's fastest juggler?
Well, I have to imagine that you're in a league of your own with very few, with the accomplishments that you've had, and there being what, like roughly 47,000 records. Still, what you have accomplished is pretty great.
You know, it kind of blows my mind, but it's all about hard work, dedication. And in terms of the number of Guinness World Records titles broken, Guinness doesn't like track that directly because each record is important in its own. And, you know, one record might take an entire lifetime to achieve. And so they don't want to emphasize this person has the most records anymore. But I'm in the top 5 of the most records broken right now.
Well, there's a record right there, right? Most records broken. That'd be a great record to break. Do you ever look at a record? Because I'm sure you go through the website and see what you can break. Are there records that are just too lame for you? Because again, these are just really outlandish and fun and different.
You know, I would never say there's a record too lame. There's some that I'm less interested in breaking or more interested, or sometimes like there's no way I'd ever want to try that, or that looks interesting. But I always approach it with a mindset. It's called growth mindset for Stanford psychologist Carol Dweck, that if you believe you can get better at something, you can. And I teach this to students about, hey, if you believe you can get better at math or science, even if you failed at it or somebody told you weren't good at it, you can get better at it. And so I approach everyone with this growth mindset. And I believe I could break pretty much any Guinness World Records title there is, other than, you know, like shortest person in the world or longest, tallest person in the world. There's some genetics going on there. But for the most part, if it's any skill-based record, I approach it. I could break it. Do I want to spend the time, energy, and effort working on breaking it? And I've got a few hundred I'm working on.
Well, I think it's a great message to anybody out there, not just kids, but adults, to get off the couch and do something. I mean, you certainly are. And before I let you go, David, thank you for joining me. Just a few final words about STEM education. And there's the website right there to learn more, find out what David does. But just a little pitch on my son's in the program. He loves it. He absolutely loves it. But tell people why it's so important to be in our school systems.
You know, pretty much anything you want to do in life requires STEM, and you might want to learn how to code or program, not necessarily because you want to become a programmer, because you learn history, not necessarily because you want to become a historian, but because you want to understand how the world works. Pretty much everything in the world that runs on electronics runs on code today. And a lot of the jobs in the economy today are driven by STEM, science, technology, engineering, math, some of the most in-demand jobs, some of the ones that pay the best. And so there are certainly opportunities to find a living. But if you just want to understand how the world works, focusing on STEM, learning about science, technology, engineering, and math can help you do that. And whether or not you want to become a mathematician or just learn how to balance your, finances, understanding math is important. And the biggest thing here, though, is students struggle with it. They fail at math, don't understand science, say, I could never become an engineer. And my message is, if you want to, you can become anything you want to become if you work hard at it. You believe you can become better. And you have this, the internal dialogue of, I can do this, I can become better at it. And when you face a challenge, overcome it, work hard, find help, get a tutor, ask somebody for help, and you can overcome those challenges.
And you've proven that with your records, of course. David, thank you so much for joining me. It was a pleasure speaking to you.
Hey, Ray, thanks for having me on. Take care.
All right, take care. Wow, that was awesome. And someday, I don't know, I loved the books growing up, and I do look at the website from time to time. For me, it's a laziness thing, but that was inspirational right there. I would love, that's going to be one of my bucket list goals, is to break a world record. So thank you very much, David Rush. Make sure you check out his website right there and see what he's all about and watch his fun videos. All right, so it's time for our nightcap, something we've been doing the last couple weeks. And Jay joins me. Jay Pillarella, what's up, buddy? How are you?
What's going on, Ray? That was great. I wanna do some breaking records.
Okay, what would you do? Like, what? You must have an idea of something you could break, a record you could break.
I'm not that good at many things, Ray, at all.
Oh, stop.
I mean, maybe we could hacky sack, something like that. Could we do something? Frisbee, maybe? I'm really good at Frisbee.
Frisbee, yeah. There's got to be something, and I want to say that David did something with frisbees. Check his website out; it's so cool.
150, 150 broken records. That's insane.
Isn't that nuts?
That's crazy.
And again, all in the name of STEM education. I love when somebody does something like that, but they also have like a motive behind it and an educational component to that. So he's teaching people. Love it. Excuse me. It's all about the sunglasses. How many sunglasses can you wear in the course of 60 seconds?
I mean, probably a lot, but I only have a few. You know. So.
I have those. Actually, I had the last ones too. Oh, those are the best. Those are the Fozzie Bear glasses. Love it. Aha! I want to go back. I want to go back to some of the comments here.
Yeah.
My friend John, who I used to work with in radio, he noticed my my gray beards. My gray beards. Yes, my gray beard. It's there. Yeah, unfortunately that's happening. Matt, yeah, right. 150. That's what Jay just said. Crazy. Hi, Ray. Hi, Jay. Hi, Jay.
Jay!
And then Zajac, so sick. I want to see an itemized list. Oh, I thought he was saying he was sick, but it was more of a cool say. Like, yeah, sick. An itemized list of records the guy holds. Go to his website. I think he's got it all on there. I think it's all listed right there. Your show is great today. People can go on demand to the Rubber Chicken Facebook page and watch that. That was fun.
That was fun. We always have a good time.
Thank you for having me. I really like participating. As much as I love the idea of comic books, I'm not a comic book guy, but I can certainly follow along. Yeah. And luckily you talk about pop culture stuff too, so I can be a part of that.
Well, I want to be part of everyone, you know, and not everyone is that into it. Even if you're just into the, the movies, that's still, you're a comic book person. The movies are fantastic. There's so many good ones out there. If you were to tell me back in 1990 that we would get blockbusters every single year, I'd say you're insane.
Isn't this has to be, and some will argue that the golden age of cinema. I think we are living in the best time for movies.
Oh, I agree.
Like I would say since Iron Man, maybe the last 10, 12, 13 years, this has to be one of the best times to be a movie fan.
Just absolutely shocked how well they can make a superhero movie. And again, with the exception of Batman, back in the 80s and 90s, it was a joke. No one thought that they could ever do anything. So the Spider-Man movie was caught in like limbo for no lie, like 10 years. It just waited and waited and waited. And when we finally got it in the early 2000s, I'm so glad they waited, because it could have been a total piece of crap.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember taking Molly to see the first Avenger, Captain America, thinking this is just another superhero movie, and I don't think she's going to like it. But she loved it for the story purpose. And that's how they make the movies now. It's not. And when Martin Scorsese, when he said that there was no heart, there was no emotion, there's no character in those movies, that drove me nuts. Because there's nothing but emotion in those movies.
It's great emotion too. If you can make a fanboy or fangirl actually tear up at the loss of their favorite character, or I'm sorry, in this, spoiler alert, but when Captain America holds Thor's hammer for the first time, now as a fanboy, it was like you're like cheering inside and like, oh my god, this is the most amazing thing in the world. Or when Tony Stark dies, of course you're gonna shed a tear. When his daughter says that she loves him 3,000, man, that makes you cry. That's emotional.
And they have some of the best actors working today involved with all of these movies. Yeah. So you can't say that there's no talent involved.
It's nothing but top talent.
Top talent.
All
right, what are you drinking tonight, Jay?
What do I got here? I got. I can't see with these things on. My can.
You can take them off.
Thanks. Tonight I got from Mast Landing Dash Indian Pale Ale.
Dash, okay. Mast Landing. Where's Mast out of?
Let's see. Brewed and canned Westbrook.
Sometimes
Maine.
they're hard to find.
Westbrook, Maine.
Maine. Yep. Okay. I have. You'll love this. You'll appreciate this. It's called Buddy Movie.
I've seen that. I've seen that at the store, and I keep going to grab it, but I have other things in my hand. Every time I go to the store, I usually pick up 2 4-packs, and I get so upset because there's 4 or 5 other beers I want to try, and then there's always old favorites. It's like, man, I know I love this, so I have to pick this up. I love it when I'm surprised. I very, very rarely am like, oh my god, that beer sucked. I can't remember ever actually buying a beer that they said sucked, but there's definitely favorites. Like, I'm upset that I told people that I was finding a Laser Cat over at Larry's, because now I can't find it there anymore. So everyone grabbed it. I was pissed.
Well, it's funny. I did go to Larry's today specifically hoping to find some Laser Cat, and instead I found, and just for the can. I mean, that's awesome. And this is from the team behind Jack's Abbey. Springdale is an offset of Jack's Abbey, and then they teamed up with Stoneface up in New Hampshire and gave us Buddy Movie.
I love Jack's Abbey, so I'll definitely have to try this. That'll be my next one. I'll pick some up on Monday. And
then at Larry's, what? Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, and that's the thing. The cover to a beer is going to sell it for me. If you have this awesome looking graphic or something like that, I'm going to try it just because it looks cool.
Yeah, it's artistic or it's fun. You just can't have a plain can. Although if somebody sold a plain can, I'd probably buy that too. Well, so another thing I found.
This is pretty plain. This is just the beach.
But it's welcoming. It's the beach. Why wouldn't you gravitate towards that? I found Night Shift. Night Shift Brewing, right?
Yep.
They have a hard cider.
Nice.
And I had no idea. Yeah. So there is the new hard cider from Night Shift.
Have you tried
I haven't cracked that open yet. No, not yet. But I'm very excited about trying that. Just the fact that a beer company is putting out cider, I'll get behind that. I had my what do you call them last night? The White Claws. I was drinking the White Claws, which are great. I mean, there's 5% alcohol.
I actually do like White Claws. There's just not enough flavor for me, so I have to add some sort of fruit, like some lime or an orange, something. I need that little bit more flavor to it.
Sure. What else do I have in front? I have so much alcohol in front of me, Jay. I've got some Kenny Chesney Blue Chair Bay rum. He's got a ton of flavors. This is the white rum. Last night I was doing the spicy. I forgot what it was. Anyway, it was really good, like cream rum or something. And then I have a little bitty bottle of Patron, which I had a shot. I was doing a video for Justin, and it called for a shot in the video. And it was before I was doing this thing. I'm like, why am I drinking tequila before my show? So I put an end to that. And then because it's too sugary, I didn't drink it. But Bill gave us instructions on how to make a mojito. So that is a mojito.
The ice is still there. That's impressive. An hour later.
Yeah, it's still there. All right, buddy.
This is what I was drinking last night, just to let you know. Double Thunder Funk, and that was delicious.
Now, who makes that?
That one is that's Bentwater.
Okay.
And it was fantastic. They also make one called, was it Czarface? And I think that's the next one. Yeah, that's the next one I'm going to try.
Czar. It's just funny to say. Czar. All right, I'm going to open up my Night Shift hard cider.
On the Night Shift.
This is Blood Orange Mango. Not a fan of the smell. It's good. It's very subtle. It's not as sweet as a White Claw. White Claws are very sweet.
Almost as if it has to tap you on the shoulder. It was so subtle.
You know what? It's almost beer-like.
The seltzer industry exploded after White Claw became popular. I mean, exploded. I remember walking into a place and there was like 15 different kinds of seltzers, and I'm like, what the hell? And it was right next to the salsa, and I'm like, salsa.
Oprah, yeah. But I was surprised how many came out too, because White Claw I think was the first, and it wasn't much longer that all the other ones broke in. Smirnoff's got one, and Bud Light's got one. But they're all basically the same. This one is very subtle, but it's good. I miss beer. I can't drink too much beer because it keeps putting the weight on, and I'm not exercising right now. So the weight goes right on, and it's all the beer. And I'm not drinking a lot of beer, but the beer that I do drink fills me up. So I always look towards a seltzer, and this is a great substitute to a beer. That's what I just figured out. So, woo, crazy.
Well, it's funny because I used to drink Miller Lite all the time. That's just the beer I drank. I loved it. And then
Coors Light for me, yeah.
And then our buddy Jeff, more and more tried to get me to try craft beers. And every time we'd go out to a place like a brewery, he's like, "Oh, try this and try this." And I really started getting a taste for them. and to the point where we've been on quarantine, and I drink so many more of these craft beers. I went back to drink Miller Lite. I can't. I don't like it anymore.
I remember having a Coors Light, and it was horrible.
And the problem with these is, just like you said, I love drinking a bunch of them, but they're so filling. I get so full, and I'm just like, oh, I'm so full. But it was so good, and it's a trade-off.
I used to complain that they only came in 4-packs, but I'm actually glad that they're only 4-packs.
I know, right? Otherwise, I'd be broke.
I just noticed how much I'm representing beer tonight. I got Happily Ever After, which is a Facebook group and more of a way of life. These people are awesome that host this group page. And then I've got the Cape Cod Brew Bus. Ryan is going to be on my show next week talking about the Brew Bus. They hop around 5 or 6 breweries on the Cape with a bus. Nice. And you get a little education as you're taking the trip to the next place, and they talk about the beer and the brewery, and then you get lunch, and it's just so much fun. Oh, there's Jeff. Jeff's watching.
Yeah. If you'll
drink them up,
Jeff, I'm absolutely fine with the fact that you got me into them. They're delicious. If you'll notice, Ray, I'm actually representing my lack of tickets to the gun show because I don't have them anymore. So I'm sorry, but you are killing me, Small. So
yeah. Why is it? How come it doesn't get small as you get? Sorry.
Because I drink too much beer.
Right. All right. Before we let you go, we talked about beer and let's talk about movies or TV. What are you watching right now? What's hot? What are you enjoying?
We're we're watching Community. I think I was inspired by you. You were saying you loved it so much. And the first couple of episodes, in all honesty, were a little clunky to me. But within
like most shows.
Exactly. But I think like the third or fourth show, I was dying. By the Halloween episode, I was laughing my ass off, and so we're hooked with that. Tonight, I think we're actually going to watch. You said there's a new David Spade movie out.
Yeah, the Wrong Missy.
So I mean, I love David Spade. I love all those Happy Madison movies. So we're going to give that one a whirl tonight.
Yeah, that's one of Adam Sandler's movies that he's not in, but all of his friends are. So it's a David Spade movie. Rob Schneider has one of his cameos that he's famous for in those movies. And it's a silly movie. It's vile. It's vulgar. It's very R-rated.
It sounds right up my alley, Ray.
Right? And it's stupid. But you know what? I've always been a fan of David Spade, too. And Rob Schneider. I mean, I think they've been looked down upon in the comedic world for a long time after their Saturday Night Live heyday, but they're still really talented guys.
I always liked Rob Schneider, but I love David Spade. He's just hilarious.
And he plays the straight man pretty much in this movie, so it's not the sarcastic kind of jokey guy that he's normally known for.
Just imagine what we would have gotten, though, if Chris Farley never died. Imagine having, like... They would have been the next, the next Coreys. They would have been in so many movies together, and it would have been
like Gene. Oh shoot! You just did the poster for it the other day. You posted that, huh?
What are you talking about?
Richard Pryor and Gene. I keep wanting to say Hackman. Wilder. Thank you.
Gene Wilder. Oh
yeah, they made like 4 or 5 movies together.
All excellent movies. It's such good stuff.
It is. Jay, thank you. I got sugar all over the place from my mojito.
Because you're so sweet, Ray.
Right? It's funny. My Mantown here is trashed after this show every weekend. I don't know why. I got booze everywhere, bottles and empties, and it started so clean.
It sounds like a good night.
Have a nice. I'll see you tomorrow night. Distracted Driving.
Why don't we hang out tomorrow night too?
7:00. Well, we'll have Tim join us, and we're talking about TV families. Huh? Maybe. We don't know. It's a crapshoot. We're going to talk about TV.
We are having Rob Dominic on tomorrow night, though.
Rob from The Tradesman. He's going to be joining us. I was so surprised. He's kind of been in hiding, and he actually told me at one point, I don't do these things.
Right.
But then he asked if he could do it, so I'm so happy he's doing it.
He's got stuff to say, damn it, and he wants to say it.
So we'll talk about TV families after the passing of Jerry Stiller, who played Arthur Spooner in King of Queens, and Costanza. What was his first name in Seinfeld?
You're killing me.
I know, right? You're killing me, Costanza. Arthur. I think it was Arthur Costanza. No, it wasn't. It was Arthur Spooner. That's my favorite role from Jerry Stiller was King of Queens. I thought he was awesome in that. Only because he was in there all the time, that he was like a major character. He was only on once in a while with Seinfeld.
I just love that all I knew him from prior to was Seinfeld, and he was such a completely different character as Spooner. And that's why I loved it.
Yeah, and I mean he goes way back with his wife and Mara, and of course the father of Jerry Stiller. So, all right, buddy. Well, have a good night. Enjoy your movie, and I will talk to you soon.
All right, cool. Thanks, Ray.
All right, see you, buddy. And for everyone else, thank you very much for watching. Let's do a quick recap. I don't want to get off. I don't know why I don't want to get off. I only have 7 people left. Thanks, Jay. Just kidding. Nicholas, Super Nicholas, nice job. He's got a new liver. Everyone's doing fine so far. Thank you so much to everybody who's donated to the Super Nicholas Fund over the years. You got that kid a new liver, and that is amazing. Tomorrow, 10 a.m., it's the HMEA's incredible virtual 5K. Normally, they would be running around Franklin, but they're doing the virtual tomorrow to raise money for individuals with developmental disabilities. It's an amazing organization. So make sure you watch and donate when you can. Chalk the Walk, Milford. Use that hashtag. Take some pictures of the artwork that you create on your driveway and your sidewalk right up until May 25th. Share it on Facebook. Use that hashtag, Chalk the Walk, Milford. Thank you very much to the Milford Cultural Council for putting that together. We need some smiles, right? Coming up, Party for the Pantry, virtual Party for the Pantry on July 26th to raise money for the Franklin Food Center, not the Food Center. And Cooking for Kids, which is coming up a week from tomorrow. We're raising money for the Milford Summer Meals Program. I think I've had it. I think I'm done. Let's play the intro and get out of here. Intro during the outro. What are you doing, Ray?
I'm going crazy, sitting on that train, and I don't think I'm ever coming home. Don't think I'm lazy, don't think I'm strange, I do think I'm really just losing it all. 'Cause I'm going crazy, yes, I'm going crazy.